One ongoing issue that continues to bedevil the labor movement is the issue of mandatory membership. That is, should all employees of a unionized workforce be compelled to pay dues? Now, with the Janus ruling, a decision of a sort has been reached, but it's one still plagued by many serious problems. To explain my views on the issue, I'm going to back up first from the Janus decision for just a moment to look at how the problem arose, take a look at what I think is at its core, and the direction that I think we need to go to solve it. Prior to Janus, everyone in a unionized workforce was required to pay dues, whether they wanted to or not. They were required to pay for an organization to represent them, whether they felt it was working in their best interests or whether or not they felt it was politically acting in their best interests. Obviously, this created resentment amongst certain members. And I actually agree with them on this point. I can totally understand the anger caused by someone in this situation. And in theory, I agree that no one should be compelled to pay for something they don't like or want. But here's the problem. The reason why dues were compulsory was because since the union is negotiating everyone's contract and everyone's benefits, it wasn't fair to allow some people to exempt themselves from contributing to the costs of these negotiations. The Janus decision is flawed because it's a solution to only half of the problem. It certainly solves the issue of people being forced to pay for something they don't want, which is a good thing, but it adds or increases the issue of people being able to freeload off the time, money, and labor of the paying members. First, until such time as paying members can be protected from having to support non-paying members, dues must be compulsory. I look at it like this. A place of work is just like a community, with its own governing structure and laws. And whatever governing structure and laws the majority of a community has agreed to, everyone's got to follow. Because when you join a community, you're agreeing to those or that community's rules. You don't get to opt out of paying taxes or following the laws of a city that you have decided to live in. And the same should hold true for a workplace community. Another point about the Janus decision. If we are going to allow people to individually opt out of a union with no barriers, well, then we should allow people to individually opt in to a union. That is to say that all barriers should be removed from anyone who wants to join a union. And companies should be compelled to negotiate with those members separately as soon as those individual decisions are made. So how do we allow people to opt out of joining unions if they don't want to, while at the same time making sure that only union members benefit from the work of the union? Here's some thoughts just to get the conversation going and point in the direction that might have some possible solutions. And I'll use school districts as an example. First, at the beginning of each contract year, non-union members would be given the first 6 months to individually negotiate their individual contract with their district. If no agreement could be reached by the deadline, negotiations are closed and the non-union contracts and benefits are carried over from the previous year. Then union negotiations begin with the contracts negotiated with non-union members fully transparent and available for review, just as prior year union contracts are available for non-union members. This solution solves several big problems at once. First, it gives non-union members the freedom they want while also asking them to be responsible for that decision and to ensure they remain fully aware of the numerous benefits of being a part of a collective bargaining union. Second, it protects union members from having to pay for non-member benefits. And third, having unions negotiate after non-union members have negotiated prevents districts or companies from using those independently negotiated non-union contracts as a wedge and weapon against unions and its members. As to unions acting against the political beliefs of any particular member, the easiest solution is to establish that no political action may be undertaken without a majority vote of members. Ending the practice of union leadership unilaterally deciding on endorsements or big policy decisions solves this problem. As a union, we should make it a constant priority to close the gap between national leadership and local and individual members. We need to create a world where members are able to easily vote and participate in the national decision-making process on a regular basis. We need to create a world where members feel an incredible sense of connection and personal significance at both the local and national levels. We could also consider giving members the ability to designate where that portion of their dues that go to political activities may be allocated. Now, these are all very broad-based solutions and ideas, but I wanted to articulate them here to give you an idea of the direction I would want to push the union and to start a conversation about possible solutions to the Janus decision, as well as the whole member, non-member controversy that has been stretching out for decades. For more on my thoughts, where I think our union should go, and especially on why I believe that we need to fight for a federal education bill of rights, go to the homepage of this website, Norberg, for neaprez.com. I look forward to hearing your ideas on this issue and on others, and working to build a strong, powerful consensus on the future of the NEA. I'm Mark Norberg. I'm running for NEA president, and I thank you so very much for your time. Take care.